Because of its beauty and what it has to offer, it's been one of the most popular neighborhoods in DC for the most part of a century. So of course it has many, many pros. But as with any desirable neighborhood, there are things you need to know before considering buying here. I'm going to cover all the pros and the cons of the neighborhood of Dupont Circle in Washington, DC. Along the way, I'm gonna reveal some of my favorites. Make sure to stay to the end though, because I'm gonna share a little known story about Dupont Circle, and we're gonna get after it right now. Hey, it's Brad here. If you're thinking about moving to Washington, D.C. or the surrounding area, go ahead and subscribe below so you can be the first to learn about the current market here in Washington. I'm a local real estate agent serving D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. I have lived in all three, so I love helping people just like you make their move here. So whether it's next week, next month, or next year, feel free to reach out or set up a Zoom. All my contact information is below. I'm happy to help you make a smooth landing here in Washington, D.C. Let's start with a big pro. Dupont Circle's location gives you several advantages. First, it is very central to most of the major job centers in the Washington area. Arlington, Virginia, which includes many large companies, including Amazon's new second headquarters, which is just under 5 miles away. Tysons, Virginia is another job hub with several Fortune 500 companies. That is 13 miles away, and Bethesda is 6.5 miles away. Now, of course, downtown DC's business district, which is predominantly on K Street, is a mile away. Living in Dupont Circle gives you access to many amenities for living, working, and playing without leaving the neighborhood. But as an additional bonus, you're surrounded by several other great neighborhoods, which multiplies the amenities at your fingertips. The neighborhood just to the west is Georgetown with its boutique shops and amazing waterfront. To the east, you have Logan Circle, another top neighborhood in DC, which offers many other great restaurants, shops, and grocery options. To the north of Dupont Circle, you have the vibrant and eclectic nightlife of Adams Morgan. All the above neighborhoods are within walking distance, by the way. In addition, Dupont Circle has access to 3 major airports. Reagan National Airport across the Potomac River in Alexandria, Virginia is 7 miles away. Expected to take between 15 to 25 minutes depending on traffic. If you're flying domestic, this will be the easiest and quickest airport to get in and out of. There's also Dulles International Airport, which is located in Dulles, Virginia, which is about 25 miles away or about a 45-minute to an hour drive. Dulles Airport will typically offer the most flights in and out of the area. And there is Baltimore Washington International Airport, which is about 38 miles to the north and is about 45 minutes to an hour to drive. One of the most significant pros of Dupont Circle is the eclectic mix of entertainment options. Let me highlight just a few examples. One of the more popular comedy spots in the city is the DC Improv Comedy Club. They have local comedians, national acts, and improv troupes. Their staff is friendly, they serve good food and tasty drinks. It's been a staple in DC for decades. You have the Boardroom DC, which is a bar with a fun twist. It offers a wide selection of board games to enjoy with friends while sipping on craft cocktails. It's a laid-back atmosphere, great for casual socializing. Then there is the iconic Dupont Circle Fountain. It's a popular gathering spot for live music, outdoor yoga, organized bike rides, people watching, or just relaxing. Most of the embassies in DC are located in Dupont Circle. And one way to experience them is the Travel the World. It's an annual event where the public can experience the food, art, dance, fashion, and music of different countries by visiting over 60 embassies. It's a really cool event. Another plus for the neighborhood is a diverse mix of marquee restaurants. You have casual bistros, brunch hotspots, and late night dining options. You have Michelin star restaurants like Sushi Taro or romantic spots like Iron Gate and Floriana. A favorite of locals is actually a bookstore, Kramer Books. Part of the bookstore is Afterwards Cafe with indoor or street side seating. The food is great. My go-to spot in Dupont, though, is Hank's Oyster Bar. It's a casual dining spot. They have excellent craft cocktails and seafood choices. The lobster roll is amazing. For after-dinner entertainment, there's an adults-only indoor mini golf club called Swingers. They have 2 9-hole courses, a bar. They have food truck style food and typically feature a DJ. Or if you prefer to dance, the neighborhood has several nightclubs to choose from as well. You have many museums in Dupont to expand your cultural horizons, including the Heinrich House, the home of America's first brewmaster, the mansion on O Street, which is a museum, a mansion, and a hotel where all the items in the museum are for sale. This is a very cool and unique museum. Or the Phillips Collection Museum, which is a former art critic's mansion. It's now a museum with over 5,000 pieces of modern art, including works by Renoir, Van Gogh, Matisse, Monet, and Picasso. By the way, if you are an art lover, Dupont Circle should be at the top of your list. There are several art galleries and regular events centered around art, promoting local art, including First Friday, Dupont, and the Dupont Underground. Okay, I've just touched on a few, but know that Dupont Circle is a dynamic neighborhood with a wide range of entertainment options. So here's a con: parking. Street parking in Dupont is typically challenging, especially near the business district areas. It's a popular destination for people to visit. So parking around these areas is a challenge on the residential blocks. As long as you're a couple of blocks away from the business district areas, though, of Connecticut 17th and P Streets, you can typically park on your block or within a block. Of course, having a parking spot on your property is ideal. If not, you can obtain a DC parking pass, as one side of the residential streets are reserved for residents. However, you'll have to move your car once a week when the street sweeper comes through. Typically, that's only March through October. If most of your travel is within the city, many residents can go without a car easily. Let's shift gears to transportation, and this would fall in the plus column. Our subway and light rail system is called the Metro, and there's a station located in the heart of the neighborhood. From this stop, you can access over 90 other stations throughout DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and it's conveniently located along Metro's Red Line. And within just a few stops, you can access the blue, orange, yellow, and green lines as well. Now, I've heard this comment from several newcomers, and it's worth mentioning. If you're used to the subway in other major cities, most people find our metro system to be cleaner and nicer than what they're used to. Dupont Circle is also one of the most walkable neighborhoods in Washington, D.C. It boasts a pedestrian-friendly layout with wide tree-lined streets and numerous sidewalks, making it easy to navigate on foot. Dupont Circle Park is located in the center of the traffic circle and is a popular gathering spot, which adds to its walkability and charm with its well-connected public transport options, and close proximity to downtown DC, Dupont Circle offers a vibrant urban lifestyle where daily and social outings are conveniently accessible without the need for a car. Walkscore.com ranks it a 99 out of 100 and calls it a walker's paradise. So equally convenient is biking around the city. DC is known for its wide network of bike trails. There are several bike share companies who have available rentals on just about every corner. You use the app, unlock the bike, ride it to where you're going, lock it up with the app, leave it on the corner, and they charge you by the minute. Dupont Circle's bike score is a 92 out of 100. Okay, let's talk about one of the most important topics. Now, this could be a pro or a con, depending on your perspective and budget. I'm talking about real estate. It's a pro because most of the homes have a great mix of diverse, charming architecture from the Victorian era. They typically have been updated to blend historic charm with contemporary amenities such as renovated kitchens, updated bathrooms, and more open floor plans. As I mentioned, Dupont Circle is highly sought after for its walkability, its bustling cafes, and a lively farmer's market. It has a unique urban village type atmosphere, making it an ideal location for those who appreciate city living, along with a blend of historical and modern touches. Many of the homes in Dupont Circle date back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Numerous buildings are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Personally, I never tire of the beautiful character of those designs. So naturally, a neighborhood with all this is going to command a higher value. The overall cost of living in Dupont Circle is approximately 50% higher than the national average, in large part due to the price of homes. Now, it's also worth noting that the salaries in Washington, D.C. tend to be well above the national average as well. Historically, the economy here tends to be strong and steady with plenty of job opportunities. The overall cost of living score for DuPont is 151.9, which is almost 52% above the national average. That being said, the job market is and historically has been strong and diverse due to the large number of jobs in areas such as government, law, healthcare, education, technology, and hospitality. Money Magazine and U.S. News and World Report recently listed Washington, D.C. as the top 3 and best places to find a job. Amazon's second headquarters is located in nearby Arlington, Virginia, and is currently operational with 8,000 employees, with plans to grow to 14,000. The full project of Amazon, once completed, aims to create 25,000 jobs by 2030. Generally, people working in the Washington, D.C. metro area may expect higher salaries compared to other regions due to such factors as the high cost of living, the presence of prestigious organizations, and the demand for skilled professionals. Therefore, this may offset the higher cost of living for this area. So let's touch on demographics really quickly. Dupont Circle has a total population of around 17,000 residents. Of that number, approximately half are aged 24 to 34 years, and 30% are aged 35 to 59 years. Of all residents, over 75% are not married and do not have children. Approximately 75% of residents hold a bachelor's or a higher education degree, and the median household income is around $126,000. So in a nutshell, you have a neighborhood of highly educated, young to midlife residents. Since 1 in 4 households do have children, let's touch on families and schools real quick. Niche.com gives the neighborhood an A- in the good for families category. The Dupont Circle neighborhood falls within the District of Columbia Public School Systems. Niche.com gives DC schools overall a rating of C+. However, many individual public and private schools serving this neighborhood receive better ratings. Just check for the school that's within the district of the property you're looking at for actual reviews. Here's another pro, the history in Dupont. Whether you are a history buff or not, you cannot help but be captivated by the neighborhood's history. It's all around you. During the Gilded Age, Dupont Circle became a focal point of wealth status and power unmatched by any other American city. It was a residential area for the city's elite, with many grand mansions and lavish row houses being constructed by wealthy politicians and industrialists and socialites. Today, much of the neighborhood is listed on the National Historic Register and is filled with row homes and tree-lined streets. Many of the large mansions that have survived are now embassies. The grandeur of this era is still visible in the architectural styles of the homes that line the streets of Dupont Circle. It remains a popular destination for both residents and visitors, offering a mix of embassies, museums, art galleries, cafes, and nightlife. The Circle itself continues to be a space for community gatherings and public events, maintaining its historic significance as a dynamic part of Washington, D.C. Okay, here's somewhat of a con, at least until you master it. The traffic circle around Dupont Circle Park is confusing to newcomers. There are 6 major streets that converge at the circle. There's an inner ring and an outer ring separated by a barrier. Now, depending on which street you plan to exit off the circle, you choose the appropriate ring. It just takes a little getting used to and a little time to learn. Fortunately, if you're going north or south on Connecticut Avenue, they have a tunnel that runs underneath the circle. And don't get me wrong about the circle, it's nothing like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. Okay, parks and green spaces are definitely a pro for Dupont Circle and the entire city. There are several green spaces and public parks near or within the Dupont Circle neighborhood, many with playgrounds for children. A couple of these located within the Dupont Circle neighborhood include Stead Park with a playground and sports courts, Mitchell Park, which has a playground, a rec center, as well as gardens and walking paths. And there are dog parks as well. S Street Dog Park is an off-leash park, and it's quite popular. Washington, D.C. as a whole has over 250 parks managed by D.C. Parks and Recreation, as well as numerous other smaller parks and neighborhood green spaces. A defining feature of D.C. is its abundance of public parks and green spaces, so there's plenty of opportunity for outdoor recreation for individuals and families. Okay, I promised a story, so here's one that is not so well known. Beneath Dupont Circle lies a series of abandoned streetcar tunnels and platforms, and they have a fascinating history that dates back to the 1940s. Originally constructed to help alleviate traffic congestion around the bustling Dupont Circle area, the tunnels were part of the Capital Transit Company's efforts to modernize public transportation in Washington, D.C. The streetcars operated throughout the tunnels from 1949 until the early 60s, when the rise of automobiles led to a decline in streetcar ridership and the eventual closure of the tunnels in 1962. After sitting abandoned for several decades, the tunnels have been periodically repurposed for various uses, including a fallout shelter during Cold War, and later as an art space. Today, the tunnels remain a unique relic of the city's transportation history, sparking interest and curiosity about the potential future uses of the underground space. If you see my other videos on Dupont, you'll know that part of the abandoned tunnel has been repurposed into a very unique venue for lively art events called the Dupont Circle Underground. They do very unique art events in the abandoned space, and I try not to miss those as they are quite memorable. Okay, we have gone over the many pros of living in the Dupont Circle neighborhood of DC. Its historic charm and architecture, its prime location within the city, its walkability and its bikeability, the strong job market, and ease of commute. We went over a few of the many things to do within the neighborhood itself, the museums, the strong art scene, shopping, dining, and nightlife, as well as the many green spaces Dupont Circle and DC as a whole has to offer. Lastly, we touched on real estate, the cost of living, and the traffic. Look for my other Dupont Circle videos as I do a video tour and a map tour of the neighborhood. They are linked in the description below. I'm sure you may have more questions and want more specific information, so please don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is below. I can typically answer more questions via a Zoom call, which can be scheduled using a link below. I have many more neighborhood guide videos for the entire Washington, D.C. area, so take a look at my channel and check out the ones that interest you. See you on the next one.